Hello girls, I hope you're staying safe at home. So in biology, today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is 5 kingdom classification. So please follow your textbooks as I explain it to you. Now it says there are millions of different types of organisms, starting from single-celled microorganisms like bacteria. You know bacteria is a single-celled organisms, okay, to very large trees like the mango or pine trees, and huge animals like elephants and whales. So as you look around, you'll see organisms of different sizes. So this range of sizes is not so surprising, but it is the complexity of structures that is significant. That is, the structures are different in different types of organisms. Now, for studying diversity in organisms, the organisms are grouped according to their increasing similarities, okay, how they are similar to each other, they are same. The organisms are also arranged from less complex, that is from simpler to more complex types, to more compound, to more complex types. So before we talk of diversity in an organism, okay, on a very broad scale, first we should be familiar with the simplest category levels of diversity. Like there are 5, please underline: species, genus, family, order, class, phylum and kingdom. So this chapter is all about these levels of diversity. Okay, so the lowest category is the species. You must have heard what a species is. Please underline: species means an organism of a particular kind whose members can interbreed amongst themselves to produce fertile young ones. That is, organisms of one species can breed amongst themselves to produce young ones. Okay, like a human can breed only with a human to get a baby. Similarly, a dog can breed only with a dog to get a puppy, and so on. So, all individuals of a species can normally breed among themselves. Individuals of a particular species differs from all other living beings. Human beings are different from apes. Apes are different from monkeys. Monkeys are different from dogs. Dogs are different from cats. Cats are different from tigers, and so on. So they differ from all other living beings. All house cats of the world belong to one species, that is cats that you keep at home. They may have some difference amongst themselves, like the color, the height, the length of the tail, but they can all interbreed. Okay, they can all produce kittens amongst themselves. So the house cat is one species which is known as Felis domesticus. So when you write in your copies, you will write Felis with a capital letter and domesticus with a small letter, and you will underline it with your pen. There is no need for you to use a ruler and a pencil. You'll underline it with the pen that you are writing to show that this is a scientific name. Okay, so in the same way, there may be few differences in the body features of the people of different countries or races. Chinese, Africans, Americans, Indians. Even in India, people living in the northeast are different from people living in Punjab. They are different, and they are different from people living in the south or the mid of India. They have different features, but yet anyone can marry amongst themselves and produce children. So all mankind today belong to a single species, and they are known as Homo sapiens. Okay, so Homo sapiens is the scientific name of human beings. So in the same way, all peepal trees and all mango trees belong to their respective species. Now, horse and donkey are two different species. Horse is a different species and donkey is a different species. Okay, and they have their own breeds. All breeds of a horse and those of a donkey can interbreed amongst themselves to produce a fertile young ones, but sometimes there is a cross between a horse and a donkey. It is possible. Okay, it does not produce, it produces a mule, and this mule is not fertile. It does not produce a fertile. Fertile means mules. Two mules cannot breed amongst themselves to produce a young one. They cannot interbreed. Okay, in the previous page here you can see the mule. Okay, donkey, a male donkey is taken. Okay, and a female horse is taken. It is Equus asinus and Equus hippo. That is the scientific name. And they can interbreed amongst themselves to produce a mule, which is neither a horse nor a donkey. And this mule cannot produce children. It is infertile. Okay, so humans have been practicing producing mules for many centuries, but several new types of crosses have been successfully tried in modern times. But yet the offspring that comes out of a horse and a donkey, though it is a mule, it is known as a mule, but they cannot interbreed, they cannot produce a young one. Now some other examples of crosses between two different species. A zebra, when it mates with a donkey, produces what is known as a zenki. There you can take a look here. It has ears and back like those of a donkey and striped legs. The legs are striped, and hips like a zebra. So zenki is also sterile. All these interbreeds amongst different species, though it is possible in very, very few species. Whenever it produces an offspring, the offspring is infertile. But in this case, zenki is also sterile. Sterile means it cannot produce a young one. Okay, now tiger mating with a female lion produces tigon, which is also sterile. Sterile means it does not give young ones. It cannot interbreed. Jeep is a product of goat and sheep, again sterile. Pomato again is a plant that produces potatoes under the ground and tomatoes above the ground, but it produces no seeds, means it is sterile. Okay, so such crossing or interbreeding can occur only between two very closely related species, and of course you already know the offsprings are sterile. That means no new species can be produced, no reproduction will take place between if they are interbred among themselves. Okay, now next, after species comes the genus. Similar species, same types of species, they come together to form what is known as a genus. So similar species constitute the next higher category called genus. Plural is genera, that is many genus together is known as genera. Let us take an example. We have crows around our homes. I'm sure all of you have seen crows. The hill crow, that is the crow that we find in the hill, which is also known as the jungle crow, is different from the crow that is found in the plains. That is known as the house crow. Okay, like size, color, beak, they are all different. The hill crow and the house crow are two different species. They are not the same species. They cannot interbreed, yet they are crows, easily made out from other birds. These two kinds of crows belong to the same genus, which is known as Corvus. Okay, so next we come to family. There you can see the diagram of a house crow and jungle crow. They are completely different from each other. Okay, and they are they are completely different, and they are of two different species, but they belong to the same genus. Next we come to family. A group of genera with certain common characteristics form a family. Now many similar species made up genus. Similar genera, they come together to form a family. So a group of genera with certain common characteristic forms a family. For example, if we take lion, known as Panthera leo, and tiger, known as Panthera tigris, they are two different species, but they belong to the same genus. You can see Panthera. This is the genus, and Leo, the second one, is the species. Okay, but they belong to the same genus. So this genus Panthera and another genus Felis, okay, which includes the domestic cat Felis domesticus, if you remember, also have the same characteristic. Therefore, there is a large cat family which is known as Felidae, which includes the genus of lion, tiger, and the genus of the domestic cat. Now, next we come to order. A group of related families, similar families, they make up an order. For example, the cat family, Felidae, made up of lions, tigers, and cats, and the dog family, Canidae, dogs, foxes, jackals, they have some common features amongst themselves, so they make an order. So here, what is the order? Carnivora. Why? They are all carnivorous. They eat the flesh of other organisms. Okay. Next is similar types of orders which have similar characteristics. They come together to form a class. For example, the orders of different kinds of animals like those of dogs, cats, bats, whales, monkeys, and even humans, they have some common features such as hairy skin, they have milk glands, they give birth to young ones, and so on. So this particular class of animals are known as mammalia. Okay, we'll be doing this in detail. Next we come to phylum. Now remember, a phylum is the largest division in the classification of plants and animals. Please underline this. Which is the largest division? You may get in one word answers. It is the largest division in the classification of plant and animals. It is phylum. So related classes, different classes, they come together under a single phylum. Okay, for example, the classes of different animals like mammals, birds, reptiles, frogs, fishes, they come together to form a phylum which is known as chordata. Okay, chordata means organisms which have a backbone, which is also known as notochord. And finally, we have the kingdom, which is the largest division of living beings. So, which is the largest division of living beings? It is the kingdom. And which is the largest division in the classification of plants and animals? It is the phylum. Now, drawbacks of the old kingdom classification. Now, according to the old classification that was given by Linnaeus in 1707 and between 1778, the entire world of living organism was just divided into two kingdoms. Okay, that is plant kingdom and animal kingdom, or kingdom plantae and kingdom animalia. Okay, but there were certain drawbacks here. So, like bacteria cannot be called plants because they are prokaryotic organisms. They do not have a proper nucleus, and some of them even possess flagella to help them move. Some single cell organisms like Euglena cannot be exclusively called plant or animal, so it was in between, because they have chloroplasts like plants and cell like plant, and cell mouth to feed like animals. So where could Euglena be placed? Fungi are also not plants because they don't have chlorophyll, neither do they have roots, stems, or leaves. So these three groups of organisms are now grouped under separate kingdoms. Okay, Monera, Protista, and fungi, and these together with the other two kingdoms, that is plantae and animalia, now constitute what is called the 5 kingdom classification, which I am going to discuss in the next video upload. Okay, so please go through till here, children. If you don't understand anything, you can WhatsApp me in the group. Okay, so till then, children, stay safe. God bless you.